think it was a whole lot of things that made me leave. Just the fact that I was sick and tired of being his bit of meat, I suppose. Like his slave. He didn't help with anything, didn't help with the kids, and then on top of all of that, he was beating me as well. So
when my husband hit me in front of my daughter, she was in bed, and it had already been going on all around the house, me running and screaming and everything. And she came out and went, "Mum," and he just hit me, and I went flying through the thing, and she saw it. And I thought, I can't do this anymore.
It took me having absolutely nothing and no one to step up and reach out, call the Women's Refuge, which was a very scary experience because I was so in fight or flight mode that, you just autopilot through everything, and I don't think I, at the time, retained anything that I was going through.
At first I hid it, didn't tell anybody what was really going on, we had an argument, just things like that. But it wasn't until my son went to because my son and my mum are real close, and it wasn't until he went back to my mum and told my mum that that my ex was hitting me. So I kind of had to do something after that. I had to tell her, and she was angry and disappointed and sad, all the emotions that come with it as well. But she just gave me a little push in the right direction.
I became a nanny, and it shifted the way that I realised when he was 4 that I could change the way that the world was for him. No matter what the world had shown me about me, no matter how many beatings I got, no matter how abused I had been over the years, that when I was 44, I realised that this didn't have to be the way it would be. It had to be for him, that there were some choices and some decisions that I could make.
Probably the saddest part about it is that these little kids, they're like 5, 6, they take on this responsibility to protect their mum and their sister and whoever else may be in the house, and they feel like they need to protect, they feel like it's their responsibility. And I think that that helped me leave as well, because he should be being a little boy, not having to feel like he's responsible for making sure his mum's okay, when that's my responsibility, and I wasn't doing my job properly.
And then one day, my partner at that time, I got home and he started beating me, and my son came into the kitchen and he said to him, and leave my mother alone. And he was 13, and my partner said to him, made himself really big and, took his eyes and his fists off me and said to my son, "What are you going to do about it?" So he threatened my son, and my boy looked at me and he said to me, "Mum, why do you keep letting him hit you?" And in that moment, I didn't have any words.
I left with just the kids and one bag of nappies, no clothes, nothing else. I was very fortunate to have that sort of help to get out of the situation. Although I left everything behind, that was one thing I was quite, how am I going to start again? I've got nothing, but I've got the kids.
It's a daunting task when you think about it, like how the hell am I going to move all my stuff out of my house? What if, and you're always thinking, what if he comes back and I'm halfway through? And so it's a real daunting task to even approach.
Then he would ring me and start taunting me and saying this is what's going to happen and stuff like that. And I was, mate, sort of like take 3 steps forward, phone call, right back, burrowing down into the hole again, And then one day he rang up and I said, I'm not falling for your bullshit anymore. Hung up the phone and I was, I can't say it, really shit scared. you know, but I said it without even a tremor in my voice and hung up, and then I was like, what have I done, you know, running around the house? No, I was scared because I somehow thought just hearing his voice was enough to set me back into that panic mode again. But it got easier the more times I hung up the phone. Sometimes then I just got to the stage where I didn't answer it because I thought, well, I'm just going to put myself through that, so I just won't answer it. And then, like, I'd change phone numbers and things like that. Still find it. So it became changing the phone numbers and all that was running away. That wasn't going to help because he'd still find the phone number and start ringing me anyway. It was me hanging up the phone and not buying into it anymore. That stopped the phone calls happening and the threats and all that sort of stuff. And then I felt, I've got the power here, not him anymore, because I don't have to listen. My power is hanging up the phone. So I felt, I started to become empowered just by doing that. Made me feel stronger. And I won't say any of it was easy because it wasn't. But I did feel just, yes, I made another 10% improvement and another bit, you know. So it does get easier.
So I can't say it was anything of a miracle that happened inside of me, but what I've had is children that have reminded me of what's not good and what's not okay, and that their mother deserves more than what she realises, and that she's stronger than what she thinks and what she knows. And I'm really blessed to have kids like that. You know, that young boy actually grew up to be a man that said, hell no, Mum, this isn't what I want for my kids. And if I wanted to be part of their lives, then I needed to be part of the change.